Hello, beautiful souls. My name is Karina Ladet, and I'm an intuitive channel and healer. And today I have the great pleasure to chat with my dear friend and soul sister, Lara Waldman. Lara is an Abundance Activator. She's a very experienced and loving healer. And today we're talking about her new book, Money Manifestation Mastery and 7 Steps to Abundance Activation. And hi, Lara, how are you?
Hi, I'm very well, thank you. It's 5 steps, so we could throw in a few more steps.
Oh, sorry.
I'm sure there's more steps you can find.
Yeah, like 100 steps to activating your money, right? And I'm so happy to have Lara here today because I've been a huge fan of her work, and I've been working privately with Lara for over a year now, and I've done her program on abundance activation, and I love how you blend the money work with like the really deep healing work, because there's so much to this topic, and I love how deep you go with it and how good you are at supporting the people who feel called to do this work, also when the really, really deep stuff comes up to the surface, especially when it comes to like old wounds and old patterns, because it can be quite painful. And for the people who feel really called to do deep money work, not the superficial kind, I think that you're an amazing teacher, because you do this with so much love and so much joy, and you bring in a lot of playfulness into that. So I'm super excited about this book, and I can't wait for more people to discover your work as well. Laura, I would love to know how this journey has been for you. Like, why did you feel guided to create this book, and what's your vision for your book and the messages in it?
Good question. So how I work in my business is that I, Lara, do not decide anything. I get very strong instructions, inner guidance, inner wisdom about what I'm supposed to create next, and it's often way out of my comfort zone. And so in January 2016, I got a really clear message to start speaking to people about money, because there is just so much negativity, so much junk and misinformation about money that's really keeping heart-centered people who have a call to make a difference, who know that they're here for something more, even if they don't quite know what that is yet, who really are looking around at life thinking, this is it, there's got to be more, or feeling or calling for more. I'm seeing these kinds of people getting really stuck when it comes to money. And so I really wanted to bust through a lot of the money myths and teach people how to empower themselves when it comes to money and not buy into all the money limitations. So that was my inner guidance. It's time to just clear through the mess, get crystal clear, and realize, actually really remind people just how powerful we truly are, and that we have the ability to manifest what we desire in alignment with our soul's purpose. So as long as it's aligned with our purpose, and, create a magical life, magic, all sorts of amazing experiences in this life.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. And I love how that kind of comes through you. And I love how you live the things that you teach as well. And I know you go through all these processes and you do the inner work, and also the aligned outer action that we need to take in order to grow our businesses and expand and heal whatever we're here to heal. And so I'd love to know a bit more about, like, who is this, in what ways can people use the tools that you share in order to expand in their lives and in their businesses? Like, what do you see as the results from using the work that you share in this book?
Okay, it's a good question. We're going to probably go a little bit deep now with that question. But really, this is about busting through the perceived limitations and lack on this planet. That the way that most people live this life are from a place of hard work, struggle, pain, and suffering. And what I know, because I've been bringing through this information and new ways of being and new ways of living on this planet for a long time now, is that it doesn't have to be this hard. And one of the ways that we make life way, way harder than it needs to be is with money, when it comes to money. So the true impact of this work, with the fullness of this work, is that it's about living a life of greater expansion, of greater freedom, of greater joy, of greater possibilities, and also remembering, this is the key, is that we are powerful manifestors. We're actually powerful creators. We have the ability to create our life. And we've forgotten this. We've forgotten this innate power that we have. And my kind of secret agenda with this money manifestation stuff is to help remind people of these truths. And so it's actually, it can be an incredibly joyful and magical and wonderful experience. The challenge is letting go of the old way, letting go of the pain and the struggle, the way of hard work, which we're very, very programmed to believe is true, that is life. Now, it doesn't mean that life is always easy, because with this work, this money manifestation mastery work works best when we're really aligned with what I call our soul's purpose or a higher self. So on a personality level or on an ego level, you can have an agenda. You can think, I want £1 million, or I want this, or I want that, I want. But if it's not in alignment with what you're really being called to do, or what you're really being asked to create, or what you're supposed to be doing or experiencing, things don't tend to flow so well. And so it can be like hitting your head against a brick wall and be very, very painful experience. So I know this is as well what you teach, Karina, is about how to really listen to your intuition, how to get into flow with your higher self, with the heart and soul of yourself, of your business, and things flow with much, much, much greater ease from that place. And it really does feel truly magical, but it's actually quite practical. But the experience of it can feel really quite magical.
Yeah, so true. Like, you do the work and then these amazing things happen, and it feels like it's not work and it's just coming, and it's really, really magical. But that it's actually that the accumulation of inner work and doing things one step at a time every day, and committing to that daily practice as well, to getting back into flow and getting back into flow until that becomes our new normal. Yes. Yeah, I think that's beautiful.
And that's the key. This book is giving you a daily practice, essentially, the tools that you need to create this new paradigm with money, this new relationship with money, and this new experience of life and living on this planet. But it does require, as you know, a daily practice or a regular practice. It's like exercise. If we want to get fit, we need to exercise regularly and eat well regularly, kind of all the time. We can't just exercise a lot once and then expect the results to stay. And so with this work, it's not hard. The tools are very, very simple. The results are profound if we actually do the work, if we use the tools. I don't really like the word work because it makes it feel quite heavy. Yeah. It's not hard work. It's just doing the tools on a regular, consistent basis, and being willing to choose something new for your life each and every day.
Yeah, and I think that's so important, isn't it? Like, taking that inspired action. So it's not only doing the energy work, but it's actually taking inspired action. And I think that's really cool, because that's the perfect blend, I find, to doing the inner work and also doing the other, like, outer things, like reaching out to people, taking steps, listening to your guidance, but taking action on that as well. Because I find sometimes for us soulful entrepreneurs, right, like, we're really good at tuning in, but we don't always put it into action, or it's all about action, and then we become totally exhausted because we're like, when it comes to running our businesses, we're not using the energy tools. We're using them with our clients or for our inner work, but not for the money aspect. And also I would love for you to share if there are like some common fears or blocks that come up for a lot of people. Like, there are a few key ones that you see a lot of.
Yeah, and that's not feeling good enough, not feeling worthy, not feeling deserving. And I have not met one person that doesn't have this running. So I'm on a bit of a mission to shift this pattern as well on the planet, because what is going on with not feeling good enough, you know? And it's basically the biggest lie that there is on this planet, because the truth of who you are is actually something quite magnificent. And that's one of the things I get to see, the gift of seeing, is people's soul, the truth of who people are. And there is not good enough doesn't even register. So it's like an incredible creation to keep yourself small and limited, to keep yourself fitting into this reality of hard work and struggle of pain, because the truth of who you are is magical and expansive and has incredible gifts and is actually limitless. But we've come into this world where that isn't really allowed. We're not really allowed to be that. So we unconsciously, create blocks and barriers to the truth of who we are to fit in. And also we absorb and pick up on the patterns of your ancestors and your family. So if your mother, your grandmother, for example, had not good enough running, you may adopt and pick up on that through your DNA. And that's it's like your turn next to kind of work through it.
Yeah.
But it's easy to say, oh, that's just a lie and the truth of who you are is magnificent. But when you're really genuinely feeling not good enough, it can be completely paralyzing and stop you from taking any action. Or it creates overaction, so overdoing to overcompensation. So you're sort of trying to prove your worth constantly. So it can be a great way to succeed. Like not feeling good enough can lead to really striving for success, but it comes with big costs attached of burnout. So it's either that you're totally stuck taking no action, which can leave you feeling really depressed and really low energy. It can lead to ill health, or taking overaction where you're desperately trying to prove yourself in the world, which can lead to burnout and exhaustion and ill health as well. So I'm really interested in how do we take, we're calling intuitively led action or guided action that's in alignment so that you can be happy and healthy and wealthy. All at the same time.
That it's okay to ask for all of those things. I would love to know a little bit about your story, because you share quite openly, Lara, about like your own journey and your own inner stuff that's been coming up for you. Is there like one thing that's blocked you the most when it comes to uncovering your own gifts and really inviting more financial freedom and abundance into your life?
Yes, there. And to be honest, it's something that I'm still working with all the time. This is the interesting thing about this money journey, is that it is a journey of growth and expansion. There isn't an end point. There isn't that we get to the top of the mountain and suddenly we're there. We'd get bored if that was the case anyway. But so just this is a journey. But yeah, my big one was this real deep fear about sharing the truth of who I am with the world. And so, especially in the early days when I started working as a healer, I didn't even tell people I was a healer. I'd be like, oh, I do this sort of relaxing massage thing. I couldn't even tell you what I did. And so part of this journey, and for me, has been coming out of hiding and sharing all my weird and wacky stuff. Because I really had a deep fear of persecution, of being attacked, of being ridiculed and judged. And and I still have that little bit. I don't want people to be unkind. I don't like that. But the fact is, it's sort of like you have to get over yourself and go and show up and share your thing with the world, regardless, because, there's all sorts of people out there. But I'm very clear now on, my message and why I'm here and why I'm sharing it. And I can feel the people that are kind of calling out for this. So then it's like, I can get out of my own way, get over myself, and just get on with doing my work. So it's been about visibility, and sharing, my truth with the world. That's been the thing that's blocked me the most. And also, it's not feeling good enough and self-worth. But the thing is when I was in the hiding, that's when the self-worth would show up most. So actually, when we decide to show up and really share our gifts to the world and really own it, that self-worth piece often melts away. So it's not really so much about self-worth. Yes, the ego voices still come in, like the doubting voice, is it good enough, blah, blah, blah. Those voices still exist, but the trick is now, so what I see now is all of these are all creations to keep yourself stuck and small. So when it shows up for me now, part of one of the steps is about how to release this stuff, how to not buy into it as real, how to clear it and keep taking that guided action forward. Because the fear or the doubt or the low self-esteem or the, you know, fear of coming out of hiding, all of it is just an incredible creation to keep you stuck and small. It's not actually real. So it's about how do we face it, look at it straight in the eyes, and feel the fear and do it anyway, moving forward. And what often happens is that thing that's kept you like imprisoned, by taking that guided action forward, will often begin to disintegrate. So I found, actually, I've done all the clearing, because releasing is a big part of this work as well. But I've done like clearing and releasing and like letting go and all this stuff. And I still had a lot of crap come up with the taking action. So at some point it was like, through taking guided action, amazing healing can happen. And the more that you take action into your greatest fears, the fear that it just sort of loses its grip. So that's a really cool piece I've learned, is sometimes we just have to do it.
Yeah. And usually, as you said, like when you reach the really big stuff for you, then of course there's going to be fear. And sometimes once you've done the clearings and you've talked to your inner child and all those things, it's like you just do it. Like I notice that a lot. Every time I'm putting something out, I'm kind of procrastinating on something right now, and I know I just have to do it. And so I can, you know, turn around, walk around it, look at it, do the stuff. But in the end, I should just sit down and actually do it. And once we take that first step, it's fine. We're in the flow again. So it's also sometimes about just doing what it is that we know is the right next step. And it's okay if it doesn't feel amazing the moment you do it, because usually on the other side of that, you do feel amazing.
Yeah, exactly. And it might, and that's one of the pieces that held me back for so long, is because I'd done all this work on meditation and feeling peaceful and calm. If anything didn't feel good, I would think, oh, well, that means I'm not meant to do it.
Yeah, me too.
Did you have that as well? So this held me back for years. So I'm like, I'm just going to feel peaceful and calm and meditation. And then it really took me quite a long time to realize, no, taking guided action, taking action on your purpose can be sometimes the most uncomfortable thing you'll ever do in your entire life. But it doesn't mean that it's not aligned. So this is the kind of paradox. But yes, we want to come back to that place of balance, which is my step one, you know, relax and then release and all that. And it's important, but we're not going to be in that Zen blissed out space the whole time, especially when you're doing something new, especially when you're doing something for the first time. It's going to probably feel pretty crappy.
Yeah. And there's a subtle difference I find between pushing through because your mind is telling you should be doing something, but it's not right. And that kind of masculine doing it anyway, pushing through that energy, and the inspired action on something that you know is right. It's just scary and uncomfortable because it's new, or it's asking you to grow. That's a really different type of, and once I think it's also testing and trying stuff, right? You play with it and see how it feels. And after a while, you know when it's resistance, and you know if it's because it's actually not the right path for you, which is fine. You don't have to push through that, but somehow you just know, right? You're like, I know how to do this.
Yes, it's a very good point, Karina, because it's actually, sometimes it can feel like a subtle difference, and it's a dance. It really is a dance between what is inspired action that I'm supposed to be taking a bit of resistance to, and where am I forcing and pushing myself, because that never works. That's being out of flow. And so this is the key, and it is a practice about how to really listen to what you're really being guided to do, where you're getting in your own way, where you're kind of pushing and forcing unnecessarily. And it is a dance, because that is moving all the time, isn't it? It's not some kind of straight black and white answer. But that's the key, is really getting into that flow, feeling the fear and doing it anyway, not from that forcing and pushing place. So it's you know, it takes practice. It does take practice to really learn to sort of trust and listen in this new way.
Yeah. Oh, wonderful. It's just lots of nuggets of wisdom and lots of things to think about and kind of process as well and expand into. So thank you so much, Lara, for coming and for answering all these questions. And I really love your work. I think it's deeply transformational. And not only does it help us tap into more financial abundance and freedom, but it also helps us expand our power and our sense of purpose. And for me, it's really been about, okay, where am I using money as an excuse to hold myself back? And if money wasn't a problem, what would I be doing? Because that has completely shifted my reality. And so money can come in, but really it wasn't really about that, which is really great too, because then it's not focusing so much on the money that we lose sight of what truly matters, but we're not ignoring money either, because it is important, right? And it does support us in amazing ways when we allow it to support us.
Exactly. You said that so perfectly well, because really this isn't really about money. This is about something much, much deeper. And my kind of wish for everyone is that you have total financial freedom so you can get on with your purpose. We stop kind of letting money hold you back, but money is a very real part of this reality. We need to work with it, we need to dance with it, but not make it the God and the answer to all of your problems, because it's not. But how can you use money? Because money is an incredible vehicle to connect deeply to your purpose, and also to connect deeply to the truth of who you are, as well as all the areas that you hold yourself back. So it's an incredible teacher. Money is an incredible teacher in this way that we're speaking about in this book.
Yeah, beautiful. So I'm going to leave a link so that you can pre-order your copy of Lara's beautiful book underneath this video. And if you have any questions to Lara, do get in touch with her on Facebook, through her website. And she's created lots of great videos on her YouTube channel that you can use. And she also guides you through lots of her meditations and energy tools. So it's a great way to kind of discover her work, to see if it resonates for you. And I highly recommend anything that Lara's created for heart-centered, soulful entrepreneurs, or just people who want to deepen their spiritual practice and their the understanding of themselves and deep healing, as well as the money aspect, because I think it's really for people who want to go deeply into this work and create really profound change in their lives and in their businesses. So thank you so much, Lara. And yeah, I can't wait for more people to discover your work. And if you know anyone who needs this, please share this video and the links to Lara's beautiful, beautiful work.
Thank you very much, Karina.